Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to a video on Tuesday or Tuesday, whatever you want, however you want to say it. So I wanted to do this video a little while ago. As a lot of you know, I got married and then honeymoon, and there was something that dropped in that time, which was Seatin announcing that he is stepping away from doing the tier list, and what kind of impact this will have for the community, and as well, you know, the fact that it's kind of sad that's the case, but I think we're all happy for him in this own kind of like special way. As the years have gone on, I think a lot of us have come to appreciate what Callum does when it comes to the creation of the tier list and how it benefits those for making informed decisions about ranking up certain champions, thinking about ones that are some of the best in game. And also kind of like leads to inspiration of other people, other creators who've kind of come up with some really good ideas. One of the great things about creating tier lists or creating anything in the game is watching innovation come in. The same way that I've accumulated information from what is a regular topic points of the game, from the forums, from different areas, and created the MCN, or the Marvel Contest of Champions news show, as it were. The same way that other people have created different things. You've got Kingslayer creating the amazing damage comparisons that he does. You've got Dan, who creates a lot of information and brings it together, and as well informs people on frontline MCOC. Lots of innovation, and that's what we want to see. Fresh innovation when it comes to this stuff. And that's what Callum did. He was one of the first people, I think he might even be the first person, to create a tier list from Marvel Contest of Champions. There's a lot of time people kind of look at these tier lists because there's loads out there, and it's a lot of the time there's no innovation with it. One of the great things, even though it wasn't a tier list, was the power index, or the index that Taters, or Lumitators, whatever you want to kind of like go by his name as, the leader of 4 Loki, don't know if he's a leader still, created the power index, which was an amazing way of comparison, giving numbers to certain things for certain champions to go, right, well, this one has you know, a numbering system of this, a number system of that, and there's a lot of analytical data that's involved with it. And that was kind of like a great system, which could be, in my opinion, it did feel like it was a tier listing to a degree. It just had the more analytical data. If it was put into the same scheme as kind of like Seatin's is, where it was kind of dropped down to not a tiering system, but like a power rating system of going, okay, well, Hercules is a 9. That means that a 9 on damage, and then it's an 8 on damage for the likes of Overseer. But then, you know, there's a lot more to that than MCI. But I love that. I thought there had a lot of potential to it. Also, I think one of the most, I'd say it's easy to understand ones, even from me, and I absolutely loved it when it was created, was Cam's tier list, which is kind of like usefulness, non-usefulness, and then a third one. The thing is with that is like, it's simplified. I know the biggest thing about this is like, because, and we'll get into this in a minute, why Seatin had to bend to people's wills because of like the swamp of just like comments, and also like hit pieces in some stages as well, which I got really kind of annoyed about and just thought, oh, why are we going down this route? As Callum says in this video, it's like every time he does a tier list, it is massively scrutinized. And that's the biggest problem. Like he falls on his own sword, because it's like he is the first to create this tier list, and then as it just goes further and expands and expands, and his channel expands, there's a lot of eyes, and also there's a lot of people to look at what he's doing, to a point of going like, right, well, I must overly scrutinize because I don't believe in what is actually being said right here about a tier system per se. And this just then goes over to other things like Facebook. Anytime like it's posted on Facebook, or there's a link to it, or it's in the MCOC community, the Facebook community, or Marvel True Costs, then it is overly scrutinized. And the other element to this is, and I've seen this as well, and I'm not going to mention who it is, but you probably know, if you follow my channel and also live streams and stuff, you know when I've kind of talked or kind of like outed this person. And I've got no interest with kind of like getting annoyed about who it is. But there is somebody out there that anytime it is posted will overly go to get response. I don't know if they're even creating content now around the game, but they were getting kind of like a lot of people to bend to the will of over criticism anytime a tier list was pushed, and it brought out a lot of like really kind of like negative, toxic people within this community to respond to it. And it's just like, man, if you got a problem with it, just say I don't really kind of agree with it, and then move on. But people were really going at him, which I just thought it was just like, why? What's the point? What is the real point of it? You might be thinking as well, like, do you have a tier list, Rich? Well, I had a plan for a tier list, but I think the way I wanted to do it is in a similar way with another creator and the way that it's done. The biggest problem that I see with tier list as it stands is everybody's opinion matters. And that is the problem between what a tier list is from a content creator or a player. More like, let's just say a player's opinion differs from another player's opinion. Nobody is going to be on the same level, or it's going to be very rare you find anybody on the same level as you all agreeing on, okay, well, this champion is going to be put into this tiering system. So the biggest thing that what could be done is to have a voting system per se. So what I'm going to be doing is a tier list, which is going to be a bit different. It is not going to be opinion based, but as well, it's probably going to be looking at its players of this community having their say and basically being the ones that are in the right or in the wrong. But then that leads itself as well to criticism, because then you could say, right, well, if you look at the instance of everybody on the forums got Ant-Man to be the buff champion, but in fact Guillotine won over that champion choice, and now Guillotine is not exactly the best champion that was buffed. It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? I think this is the biggest problem that I have, as well as Seatin has over the last 5 years. I mean, I've been doing content creation now for 5 to 6 years, and I've been playing the game since January of 2015. So it's probably like, you know, it pretty much is going to be like coming up to the 7-year mark this year. Well, not necessarily, but you know, January. The biggest problem is once you reach a certain point, everything is open to be scrutinized, and that big point that we're going to cut, that we come back to, that even Callum said in his video, sorry, Seatin, if you don't know, I'm talking about Callum, Seatin, is that sucks the fun out of this when you're kind of like, I personally love creating content, as well as I'm sure that Seatin does. I'm sure a lot of people that are content creators do, but the biggest thing with it is that kind of like, okay, well, if I'm thrown an opinion, 5 years in, I've got to make sure that I've researched as much as possible. And that kind of like is that point that it sucks the fun out of the working side of things and the fun side of things, of like what is fun about playing games and being on like honeymoon and wedding and having like 1 week and a half, 2 weeks off, whatever you want to say. It kind of does draw back to like, this is all about trying to have fun with the game at the same time. So I love making content, but also at the same time I love playing games, and that is definitely what I kind of like got the opinion, or the not opinion, but I got the kind of like sentiment that was being shared by Seatin in that video. But I do think that it's going to be interesting to see what tier lists are developed. I think I'm going to spend a bit of time to develop mine properly, probably after I've written all these side event kind of like ideas, which is coming soon. But I've got a lot of content to do. I've got a long list. If you see my Discord, you know I even have a room that says videos I have to make, and it never stops. I've got enough content to last me until February 2022 to make. Some of it that's going to take a lot longer to make, because here's the biggest problem when champions are buffed. What do? You've got to like look to update guides, and I've got all my new player guides that got to be updated from 2019 to be 2021, and yeah, taking it from there. That's really the thing with it. So yeah, tier lists. I'm gonna work towards something. I'm probably gonna get another creator involved, and we're gonna hopefully kind of like come up with a really good idea. And yeah, that's really it. It's sad to see Seatin stop doing them, but I totally understand that what he's doing is very different, taking him a different way. who knows what the future will hold with YouTube and MCOC. You know, game could be dead in a year, especially if Kabam go the way they're going to ruin it the way they are. Get it right, otherwise people will move on, and that's what it is. But apart from that, we carry on playing the game as we normally do. And what are your thoughts on in the comment section? You know, tier lists. How would you build a tier list to a point of structure? Not on the point of like the champions within it. Like, how would you structure it? That would be interesting to find out, because now we've got to see some real kind of like new tier lists in the community. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you all very soon. Hopefully I get my PC back today at some point. So yeah, looking forward to that. Appreciate you all. Have a good one. Bye-bye.